You feel the camera before you see it. A faint hum above the hallway. The quiet click of a lens adjusting as you pass. Below deck, privacy isn't just limited. It's monitored. Every corridor, every doorway, every time clock is another pair of eyes. They say it's for safety. And in a way, it is. Thousands of lives float together inside a steel city, and order has to be maintained. But for the crew, the constant gaze becomes something else. A quiet reminder that even in their few moments of rest, they're never truly alone. There are more cameras on a cruise ship than most small towns, and not all of them are in places passengers ever see. Tonight, we're sailing into the hidden world of cruise ship surveillance. Not the rumors, not the conspiracies, but the reality of what it means to live and work under eyes that never blink. Above deck, surveillance feels invisible. A quiet layer of protection most passengers never think twice about. Cameras in elevators, corridors, even tucked near the buffet lines, all there to keep things running smoothly. But below deck, it's different. For the crew, surveillance isn't just safety. It's structure. It tracks time, movement, even mood. Every keycard tap logs who enters where and when. Every RFID tag sewn into uniforms tells the system who's working, who's late, who's missing. It's an ecosystem of order, one designed to keep the ship efficient and secure. But when you live and work under it for months, something changes. You start timing your breaths. You start watching your own reflection in the convex mirrors. You start wondering when a place meant to feel safe begins to feel like control. Because beneath the ocean's calm, there's a network watching. One that never sleeps, never blinks, and never forgets. Before sunrise, the ship is silent, but the cameras are already awake. Crew corridors glow in pale fluorescent light, stretching endlessly like arteries through a steel heart. The first footsteps echo from housekeeping, from galley teams reporting for duty, from engineers heading toward the engine control room. Each of them passes the same invisible ritual, a swipe of their ID card. One motion, one record. The system logs it, who you are, where you're going, what time it happened. Every shift begins this way. To passengers, it's invisible. To the crew, it's a constant pulse. The rhythm that decides their day. Miss a scan, clock in late, or enter an area outside your assignment, and it's recorded. There's no arguing with a machine's memory. It's not about punishment, they're told. It's about accountability, safety precision. But deep down, everyone knows. The system sees more than it needs to. A few decks up, security teams review motion feeds, small thumbnails of life below deck. They're trained to spot patterns, fatigue, argument, hesitation, even the faint slouch of someone too tired to keep going. And as the engines begin to hum, the crew straightens their posture. Not just for their supervisors, but for the silent observers tucked behind every glowing red light. Because here, discipline isn't only enforced by people, it's enforced by eyes you never meet. There are places on the ship where crew rarely linger, not because they're forbidden, but because the system remembers. Every door, every stairwell, every back corridor carries a digital trace. A single card swipe leaves a trail through the ship's memory, mapping your movements like a ghost on a radar screen. Some call it safety. Others call it surveillance, dressed as structure. The truth lies somewhere in between. In the crew mess, someone jokes that the ship knows them better than their own family. What time they eat, how long they sit, which hallway they use to get back to their cabin. It's a joke that never feels like one. RFID chips in staff IDs, scanners at supply rooms, automated attendance logs, all pieces of a system meant to prevent mistakes. But when you live inside it long enough, you stop wondering if it's protecting you or recording you. Every once in a while, someone forgets to clock in after a break. Within minutes, a supervisor appears. Everything okay? It sounds casual, but everyone knows the system whispered first. So the crew adapt. They walk a little straighter, move a little faster, smile a little longer. Because here, even a moment of stillness can draw attention. And while passengers sleep above, the crew below learns to live within invisible boundaries, unseen lines drawn by machines that never forget to watch. Deep inside the ship, there's a small room most passengers never see. Rows of monitors glow in shades of blue and green, cycling through hundreds of camera feeds. Corridors, stairwells, service doors, crew mess halls. To the untrained eye, it looks chaotic. To the security team, it's order, a map of every heartbeat on board. Each blinking screen tells a story. A steward hauling linens across deck 2. A cook scrubbing a counter for the 5th time. A bar attendant yawning between shifts. They don't know it, but every gesture is recorded, compressed, stored. It's not about catching mistakes, they're told. It's about preventing disaster, theft, fire, fights, accidents. Every second counts when you're surrounded by water. Still, for those who live below deck, it becomes something else entirely. The cameras stop feeling like guardians. They start to feel like mirrors, reflecting fatigue, frustration, and quiet resignation. Some crew whisper that the system can even track their smiles. Facial recognition tuned for emotion analysis, ensuring guest experience stays perfect. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Belief alone changes behavior, so the crew keeps smiling, even when they're too tired to mean it. Because on this ship, sincerity isn't just seen, it's measured. And somewhere inside that control room, a light flickers. Another frame captured, another second stored. The ship keeps watching, because that's what it was built to do. Imagine living months inside a world where every hallway is lit too bright, every corner holds a reflection, and every move feels accounted for. The cameras don't just see you. They begin to shape you. You stand straighter when you're alone. You smile longer when no one's watching. You forget what natural even feels like. Some nights, crew members sit in the laundry room just to breathe. The one spot where the cameras rarely reach. The hum of the dryers drowns out the world, and for a few minutes, the pressure lifts. They talk in low voices, about families they miss, about sleep they can't find, about feeling invisible, yet somehow too visible all the time. A steward once said, "The cameras don't scare me. It's what they make me forget, that I'm human." That's the cost of a system that never blinks. It doesn't punish, it just observes, until you start observing yourself. And yet, they keep going. They learn to find freedom in the smallest ways. A joke shared during roll call, a song hummed between shifts, a quiet moment watching the sunrise through a porthole camera, forgot. Because the sea still forgives. The horizon doesn't watch. And somewhere between duty and dignity, they remember who they are. Not data, not motion, not surveillance, but people, doing their best to keep the ship alive. Above the waterline, passengers drift to sleep, their day filled with laughter, drinks, and the comfort of knowing someone's always watching over them. Below deck, the same truth carries a different weight. The cameras hum quietly. The system logs another day, another 1,000 moments of unseen labor and unspoken emotion. Tomorrow, the cycle begins again. The scanning, the smiling, the silence between the noise. And yet, For every crew member, there's still pride in keeping the ship afloat, even when the eyes never close. Because deep down, they know their effort, not the cameras, keeps everything moving. The ship keeps watching, and so do they. You're watching Cruise Threads, where the real stories sail below deck. Subscribe now to keep sailing with the crew who live this life every day.